The one night that we wait for, when it's all put on the line. We all striving to reach the top and be the champion this time.
I'm gonna be a champion. Yeah, I got what it takes. Risk it all, make my own fate. Yeah, I'm gonna be a champion. All the glory and the fame, jet setting in my own plane. I'm gonna be a champion. Silhouettes in the spotlight, cash falling from the sky. Yeah, I'm gonna be a champion. So all it takes is one night for me to turn around my whole life. Say it's easy coming up and trying to be the best. I'm calling bluff, you looking tired, man, you need a rest. You trying to graduate ahead of class, cheat the test. Homie, I ain't even trying, I just be the best. Championship rings, yeah, I got a few. Gold medal, first place, what I gotta do. Hard work, dedication, never quitting. Now you looking at a champion. I'm gonna be
It is so good to hear this song because I am indeed Nate the Epping Great. I am indeed your Elite Ringside Network champion. I am indeed your Game Changer champion. Welcome to the Game Changer. And this is indeed the Clash of Champions show, guys. Predictions are going to be coming up quite a bit. I'm going to have my predictions as well as my opponent, Mr. Lola Bean. His predictions have already been sent, so I will be talking about that. But let's just get right into some of the things that went out throughout the week, including the build-up to the Alpha versus Omega match happening on January 4th in the Tokyo Dome. Chris Jericho versus Kenny Omega just got a lot more interesting. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, actually earlier this week we saw a couple of bits of footage in which we saw Chris Jericho come to Japan after Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks had a amazing six-man tag team matchup, and Chris Jericho brutalized Kenny Omega, hitting him with the Codebreaker as well as with the IWGP United States Championship belt, and basically just sending a message to Kenny Omega. Although Chris Jericho would not get the last... No, he would actually. They had the Wrestle Kingdom 12 press conference where Chris Jericho was talking about how it was a dream match between Kenny Omega and himself, but that's as far as he got because Kenny Omega came back and he just beat down Chris Jericho, and then Chris Jericho making the statement that at Wrestle Kingdom 12 it is going to be not a wrestling match, it is going to be a straight up fight between the two of them, and that he is going to end Kenny Omega's career in Japan. Now, I don't know if that's a sign of things to come, or if that's just really good building marketing. Either way, they did a tremendous job of building up the Alpha versus Omega match between Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega. The promos that these two have had with each other, these two segments here that they've shown, especially on YouTube, go check them out, you guys. I'll even have links for them on the Game Changer site. It's just really well done how these guys have just been building up this matchup. It truly is a matchup to determine who is the best in the world right now in WWE. It's just, oh my gosh, it's just mind-blowing how this match is even happening and how the build-up is just getting us more and more excited for this matchup between the two of them. January 4th cannot come sooner, you guys. Go check it out. It is Chris Jericho versus Kenny Omega, Alpha versus Omega at Wrestle Kingdom 12. You definitely do not want to miss that. Alright, so we go from that to Monday Night Raw, and quite a bit happened on Raw. We saw Seth Rollins take on Sheamus. Seth Rollins came out victorious, but we also saw Samoa Joe defeat Dean Ambrose. Samoa Joe came out victorious. And then we also saw Roman Reigns versus Cesaro in what was indeed the match of the night between the two of them. It was for the Intercontinental title, and my God, these two just laid it all on the line. Roman Reigns is getting better and better in the ring, and Cesaro is basically turning into the Chris Jericho right now. He is definitely one of those guys who can just provide amazing matches and just really live up to his stature and really live up to his hype that a lot of people have been giving behind him. I myself am a Cesaro fan, and if they would have had Cesaro win the title from Roman Reigns, I would have been okay with that. It would have been absolutely amazing. And in all honesty, I love that they're doing this Intercontinental title open deal because it makes that title even more prestigious, even though it was already at a bar. It just takes it to that next level. just one thing that I'm hoping that they do for this Intercontinental Championship Open is I'm hoping that they actually, switch the title around a little bit, because as much as the U.S. title Open was great, it really would have been better if they would have just had, the title switch around every now and then, because then all it turned into was John Cena wins, lulz. And yes, there were a lot of great matches where we saw Rusev and Cesaro and Neville, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, all these great matches that he was having. But the problem was that it just was all put to the same, equation. Cena plus opponent equals Cena wins, lulz. That was it. I'm hoping that they do that more with the Intercontinental title, because that championship could use a little bit of, new faces on there. And if it was Elias Sampson, with the way he did it a couple weeks ago, I would have been fine with it. He did a great job. Jason Jordan, well, I think he's not quite there yet, but he could have like a reign for like maybe a week, maybe a day. I think it'd probably help build up his career just a little bit. Cesaro, you cannot deny, he's definitely one of those guys who definitely does deserve to win the championship more just sooner rather than later. You cannot deny that at all. All right, so we also had on Monday Night Raw Braun Strowman versus Kane, in which we saw it end in a no contest, and this was supposed to determine the number one contender for the Universal Championship at Royal Rumble. And of course, like I said, it all just fell out of whack. It was just like, no, we're not going to determine it now. We're just going to keep postponing it until Rumble just to build it up. And the thing that really made me kind of scratch my head about this was that they reinforced the ring because of what happened, I think it was before Survivor Series, where Kane and Braun Strowman went through the ring, which I can understand that. But when you don't really use that stipulation of reinforcing the ring, it feels like there was no point to it. And it felt like it was pointless. I mean, great, they got a lot of great spots on the outside, and they did a couple things in the ring, but really, nothing came out of it. No, there was no point in having the ring reinforced. It wasn't like, with Big Show and Strowman, where after that happened, they actually utilized the ring. It was just one of those things where it's like, oh, we're just not going to do the same thing, which I understand, but at the same time, it's like, why say it if you're only going to be having the match outside the ring anyway? Just makes no sense to me. All right, let's see here. Anything major else that happened on Raw? I should definitely mention this. The Absolution definitely got a little more than what they expected, in which the entire women's roster came out and just beat them down. And I will say this, they did do a basic copy and paste deal with the Riot Squad on SmackDown, where the SmackDown Women's Division came out and did the same thing to them. I hate that they are just doing lazy booking when it comes to the women's division. It's like, if you see it on Raw, you're going to more than likely see it on SmackDown. And by more than likely, I mean 98% of the time, you will see the exact same thing. No, 98% is way too fair. 150% you will see that on SmackDown. That is how confident I am about that. It just... oh my gosh. I really hate that they're just doing that. I hate that they are just absolutely trying to just... I just hate that they are trying their hardest just to do the copy and paste deal. It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. Why do it? Just... It's frustrating now. It's getting to the point of frustrating where it's like, you have these women, they can all have great matches, but you're just doing the same thing over and over again. This is not WCW, damn it. I just don't understand. We also had a Fatal 4-Way matchup. It was a second chance Fatal 4-Way matchup between Cedric Alexander, Arya Daivari. We had Mustafa Ali and Tony Nese all battling to determine who would face off against Drew Gulak this upcoming Monday for the shot at Enzo Amore. And Cedric Alexander, my boy, he finally got the victory. He finally got the win. It was just an awesome moment. I thought to myself, well, finally, after all this time where Cedric Alexander was the guy that always did all the work and did all this classy stuff, but would just always come up so short. It's finally one of those moments where it's like, hey, great, we're getting Cedric Alexander in the title picture. We're getting him in a number one contendership match. He's just got to win one more match, and then he faces Enzo, in which I hope that he shatters Enzo's spine. That's just me. I would really love to just see like 5 lumbar checks hit on Enzo Amore, and then Enzo just has like that goofy like back brace where he wants his rematch, but he's just saying like, I'm hurt right now, so I'm going to wait until my back is fully recovered. He just looks like who was it? JBL back in 2004 when he had that goofy back head brace where he just looked like an absolute stooge. I would love to see that with Enzo Amore. That would be absolutely amazing, worth everything. And a lot of people know about the whole situation that went down with Rich Swann. He got arrested for assault as well as for kidnapping. So much going on with it. It's really just sad to see that Rich Swann, a guy who has been a former Cruiserweight champion and who definitely captivated the WWE's universe's imagination very well, go through that, and now everybody's questioning, well, is he going to get released? Is he going to get like another fine or suspension? Is he going to even come back to WWE? With the serious charges like that, I just do not see Rich Swann coming back. In all honesty, this is one of those serious offenses that you can't just do a bunch of good deeds and make up for it. You definitely need some time away where you need to really look at yourself and say, is this really who I'm becoming? And really, would I suggest him going into therapy? Definitely. I think that he definitely does deserve a bit of therapy going for the long run, because it was, from what I told, was his wife that he was assaulting him as well as kidnapping, and there have been witnesses reports, so it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, good luck trying to dance your way out of this. There's no way that's going to happen. Also, one thing that I wanted to kind of mention was the fact that actually there's a bit of a report on another Cruiserweight contender, Noam Dar. He actually went in for a knee surgery for, I think it was, he did an MRI, and he had to get surgery done on his knee. Let me see if I can pull up the article on that, because this is one of those things where it really sucks. I really liked Noam Dar, and I was really, really hoping that maybe he gets back into a really good, here we go, he would really get back into a Cruiserweight title position. But yeah, he underwent a successful surgery on his left knee yesterday. So that's really good to see. And he's probably going to be out of action for 5 months. That is really rough, because they confirmed that it was a meniscus tear. That's a really rough deal when it comes to the knee. So Noam Dar, definitely really glad to hear that you had a successful surgery, and definitely take your time. Don't rush anything, and we look forward to seeing you back. Hopefully as a newly regenerated, newly created, different Noam Dar than what a lot of people have come to know from the long time. All right, so that is going to wrap it up for Raw. Raw was good this week. Matches were really good. Promos were not too lengthy. Other than the fact that Jason Jordan was keep whining and complaining, it's kind of one of those things where, oh boy. I made the joke on Twitter this past Monday that the whole joke where somebody made a parody of the Jason Jordan Kurt Angle deal, and then putting in the song from Family Guy, My Black Son is here to stay, my black son. That was one of those things where I said that was probably the most over that angle has been since it started. Ever since then, it's just been seemingly downhill from there. They've really not done anything, and I'm hoping it really comes to something going into the future. And I'm hoping Jason Jordan becomes something more, because he is a very talented guy. It's just his in-ring skills. His in-ring skills are just absolutely amazing. It's just that his mic work, people are just not really getting behind him. They really aren't. I want to comment one more thing about the Braun Strowman-Kane situation. The heavy rumors are basically stating that it is going to be a triple threat match between Braun Strowman, Kane, and Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble. I don't understand it. Why can't you just make us have Brock Lesnar versus Finn Balor? And I actually had an interesting conversation about this on Monday with a I need to actually get the name. I want to actually give a little bit of credit where credit is due about the about that comment, because basically what he was saying was that Vince McMahon definitely wants to have I think it was right here if I remember correctly. Yep, it's Rob from Rob was X_Rob_. If you guys want to give him a follow, he brought up some really good points. First thing he said to me was Vince doesn't want Finn to lose to Brock. He's heavily protecting the demon gimmick, and Balor makes a lot of money off merch. Vince doesn't want to ruin that for him, so he's protecting him from a loss to Lesnar. And I basically said, that he doesn't have to use the demon gimmick, and he could still look strong within defeat. And one of his replies, if I'm not mistaken here, was that he is indeed a Finn Balor fan, but Vince... Nope, that's the same tweet. Anyway, so I really wish that they would actually give more of a damn about Finn Balor, because he really is one of those just amazing guys. Basically, Rob mentions that the Demon is made for huge pay-per-views like the Big Four, so he would have to use it at the Rumble. Vince loves it, so he markets the Demon on big stages. It just... Yeah. Finn Balor is just in major limbo right now. I don't really understand why they're just treating him like such. It's insulting. He's one of the longest reigning NXT champions, and he's one of the hottest acquisitions that they got for quite some time. And they just don't treat him that well. They don't give him a proper chance. They really could have just had Finn Balor versus Brock Lesnar by now, and it would have been awesome. Finn Balor versus AJ Styles was indeed one of the matches of the year, in my opinion, from this year. Probably second to Pete Dunne versus Tyler Bates at NXT TakeOver Chicago, because that matchup is very tough to top in WWE standards right now. But yeah, you need to really look at that and see that AJ Styles versus Finn Balor was indeed a great matchup, and Finn Balor has it. Just got to give him the ball and let him roll with it. Give him a chance. Alright, so that's going to conclude that deal for Monday Night Raw. Going into SmackDown, we had a little more build-up for the... I'm trying to remember what it was. Oh, the triple threat match for the U.S. title. That's right. So, basically, we had Bobby Roode... No, it wasn't... No, yeah, that's right. Baron Corbin versus Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler came out with his regular music. He didn't do that whole... The record scratching deal. He wasn't doing that anymore. He did his regular entrance, which was kind of a surprise, and I'm hoping that they continue to do that. Hopefully, maybe they can get Dolph Ziggler a little bit more, maybe different music, maybe something a little more, I guess something a little more heavier, because I think we've heard this theme music so many times that it's really kind of one of those points where it's like, Dolph Ziggler, you deserve better in your career right now. But yeah, Dolph Ziggler versus Baron Corbin was interrupted by Bobby Roode, who gave a glorious DDT to Ziggler as well as to Baron Corbin, sending a message going into the Night of Champions triple threat match. And we're going to get into those predictions in just a bit. My thoughts on the whole deal with Baron Corbin Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode is that it's an interesting matchup. I mean, they built up the whole Baron Corbin and Bobby Roode deal since the Lumberjack match a few weeks ago. But the Dolph Ziggler deal kind of made my head kind of scratch a bit. Maybe it's because of the comments that Dolph Ziggler has been making about how he feels like he is not at the point that he thought that he would be. He thought that he would be higher up than what he was. And honestly, he deserves so much better. I mean, some people have actually done like statistics on his win-loss record. I think it's like, what was it, 47 to 51? I think was like his win-loss record, if I'm not mistaken, for throughout his career. And they also mentioned his pay-per-view loss record. Just, Dolph Ziggler has had a lot of great moments when it comes to WWE. You cannot deny that. I mean, he defeated John Cena in a Money in the Bank ladder match. He defeated Luke Harper in an excellent ladder match for the IC title. He had that great moment at Survivor Series. He's cashed in the Money in the Bank to one of the biggest pops that the WWE has seen in a long time. It just is so amazing to me that they have had this untapped potential in Dolph Ziggler and they refuse to push him. Now, whether it's because they feel like he's not marketable or whether he's injury prone, I don't understand it. It just makes absolutely no sense to me. I'm hoping that they do give Dolph Ziggler one final really good run as a main eventer or even for the United States title. That would be absolutely great for his career. And then after that, I would say Dolph Ziggler. I'm not going to say, best of luck in your future endeavors, but I think he definitely deserves the time away to really just look at his life and pursue other things like acting, stand-up comedy, doing stuff like that. Just give him something more to do. It just makes sense. All right, so from there we had I talked about the women's situation. This was actually very interesting because Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, they did what was called the Yep movement, in which they were basically trying to show that, hey, there's support for us and showing that we are indeed a decent commodity. Then Daniel Bryan came out, and this was something that I actually mentioned I think it was on Tuesday, where, I said that Daniel Bryan kind of had the look on the faces like, I think I might just cease and desist letter you guys. But also the deal where basically Daniel Bryan brought up his yes movement, where he says, you guys are doing it for yourselves. I did the yes movement for them. It's one of those things where it's like, well, you kind of did it for them, but they're still a part of this. That the only person that really benefited from it, arguably, was Daniel Bryan, because when he did the yes movement, he got into the main event of WrestleMania 30. So it was more to his full benefit, but it did come to our benefit as well because we didn't get Randy Orton versus Batista as the main event, because right then and there, it was not the time for that. So it's one of those things where it's like, well, I mean, you could argue that he did it more for him than for the fans, but that's an arguable case. So Daniel Bryan basically came out and he said, I'm going to be the second special guest referee and make sure that everything is called right down the middle. So it's going to be interesting to see how they really do this matchup. And it really does kind of raise the question, what's going to happen because of what happened in the main event, which was Kevin Owens versus Shinsuke Nakamura. During the matchup, Kevin Owens ducked a kick from Nakamura. No, I think it was Nakamura that ducked the kick, and Kevin Owens hit a super kick on the referee. Referee got knocked down. Daniel Bryan grabbed a referee's t-shirt, and he assumed the role as referee. And then we saw Kevin Owens pick up the victory over Nakamura with a pop-up powerbomb for the 1-2-3. So this is really going to be interesting to see how things go on Sunday, because on one hand you have Shane, who would love nothing more than to oust Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn from the WWE, but you also have Daniel Bryan, who believes that they are just getting wrongfully treated by Shane McMahon just because of what they did, but also because of the fact that they have been mistreated by Shane McMahon quite a few times on SmackDown. So it's very interesting to see this kind of clash deal. So you know what? Let's not waste any more time. Let's get into the predictions for this Sunday's Clash of Champions event. I keep wanting to say Clash of the Champions. Somehow that just, I don't know. It seems to make more sense to me to say that. And just because they're just like, oh, well, we need to do a different name. We need to do something different. Clash of the Champions. Well, we could do that. But what if we change the name to Clash of Champions? Oh, great idea, Vince McMahon. Just, I don't get it. I just really do not get it. But all right, let's get right into the matchups. And this is indeed for the Game Changer Championship, ladies and gentlemen. And also bear in mind that with Lola Bean's predictions, if he is incorrect on any guesses, he's going to be subtracted a point. So this is really one of those situations where he could be in a little bit of trouble. So, yeah, let's just get right into it. The first matchup on the card is going to be Zack Ryder versus Mojo Rawley. In the pre-show matchup, we have... all right, so we have this matchup that basically came about because Mojo Rawley turned on Zack Ryder, talking about needing a change. And it's just kind of one of those things where it's like, well, it's just two friends battling against each other. Former friends, I should say. All right, so Lola has Mojo Rawley for the win on the pre-show. I will also go with Mojo. I think they're going to try and build up Mojo to be a little bit of a heel. I would much rather prefer that they had Zack Ryder win, but I think that they're going to give Mojo the victory here and probably try to get Zack Ryder into a singles run. I would prefer that, and I would think it would be kind of cool to see Zack Ryder versus Baron Corbin for the U.S. title in the future, which basically does give away my prediction for the U.S. title matchup. So let's just go right into that matchup. The triple threat match for the United States Championship match. Baron Corbin defending against Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler. I already mentioned, of course, I'm going with Bobby Roode. Lola Bean has picked Bobby Roode for the win. I just think that Bobby Roode could do a little bit better than the U.S. title. No disrespect to that title, but I just see Bobby Roode as a WWE champion. Just let me have this. Let me have this, please. Just please, let me have this. All right, so we have Charlotte Flair defending her women's title in a Lumberjill match. I'm calling it Lumberjill, not Lumberjack, against Natalya. Lola Bean has gone with Charlotte Flair. I will agree with him on Charlotte Flair. I just think that right now Charlotte is one of the best people to have on as the women's champion, and she's paying a bit of homage to her father. That moment where Charlotte won the SmackDown Women's Championship, and we saw her, hugging her dad, and it was just one of those most emotional moments in WWE because everything that Flair has gone throughout the year definitely was one of those moments where it's like, it's good to see him walking, it's good to see him there for his daughter, and just bear witness to her winning the championship again. And it definitely does seem like every single time that Charlotte has won her women's titles, or first ones at least, Ric Flair has always been there. So it's really cool to see that. It's really cool to kind of acknowledge that. I would actually not be against the idea of having Charlotte be the first ever 16-time women's champion, because in all fairness, that would be absolutely amazing. Just please, let me live that dream. Charlotte deserves it. We move on to the next matchup, which is a matchup that was just added this past Tuesday. Breezango taking on the Bludgeon Brothers. Mr. Lola Bean has chosen Breezango. I will be going with the Bludgeon Brothers. I think that with the way they're building up the Bludgeon Brothers, I do not see them getting stopped anytime soon. It just does not make any sense to have the Bludgeon Brothers be on this roll for a while and then lose to Breezango. I really do not like Breezango losing, but they really haven't done anything with Breezango other than those segments. I really want to see them back in the ring again. It would make sense. Just put them in the ring and let's build up Breezango as a tag team champions. Please. I want that, actually. I would love to see the Fashion Files feature the tag team titles. Just let me have this. Please. All right. We have the Fatal 4-Way matchup. pitting the Usos, and they're defending their titles against the New Day, Shelton Benjamin, and Chad Gable, and well as Rusev and Aiden English. Mr. Little Bean has picked the New Day to win the titles. You know, originally I was going to go with the Usos because I honestly, I love what the Usos are doing. And I say have them hold the tag team titles for as long as they can. But I think just for the nostalgia factor that they have done with this, I am going to go with Rusev and Aiden English on this. I think that it'd be really cool just to have that moment where we see Aiden English and Rusev pick up the tag team titles, and it just would be an absolutely amazing moment, because it would be Rusev Day like all year long. I would love to see that, please. Just let that be the final moment of 2017. Just Rusev Day and Aiden English just singing. And that just would be awesome. Alright, so we go into the WWE Championship matchup. AJ Styles defending his title against Jinder Mahal. Lola Bean has chosen Jinder Mahal. I myself will say that AJ Styles retains. This can go one of two different directions. Either A, Jinder wins and we get Jinder versus Cena at WrestleMania, or AJ Styles win and we get AJ Styles versus Nakamura for the WWE title at WrestleMania. Yeah, I do not see that not happening. I say AJ Styles is going to win, and that's the way, I like it. And arguably what could be the main event of the Night of Clash of Champions. I'm thinking Night of Champions for some reason. I don't know why. The tag team matchup with Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan as the special guest referees. Randy Orton and Shinsuke Nakamura taking on Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. And if Owens and Zayn lose, they will be fired from WWE. Both of us are in agreement in here. Lo and I both are going to go with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. But I'm also going to make this bold prediction here. I see Randy Orton turning heel on Shinsuke Nakamura, because I think that would be a beautiful build-up and something for Nakamura to do, because this will definitely be a bit of a spoiler for my 12 Days of Booking series, in which Nakamura will definitely win the Royal Rumble. I'm making that prediction right now. And during that time, you can have Nakamura versus Randy Orton in a feud, and it would be great. I think it would be pretty good to see the two of them battle it out and, put Nakamura's Royal Rumble victory on the line. Just really add that special element to it. And I mean, Randy Orton, he's not, unfamiliar with getting that win for the Royal Rumble. I mean, he did that with Rey Mysterio years ago. So why not just do that again with Nakamura? And like I said, I think that Randy Orton would be a perfect opponent for Nakamura in this case. So that is what I think will probably happen. But yeah, either way, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, they're definitely not going anywhere. And I think that Daniel Bryan's going to make the 1, 2, 3. I don't think he's going to turn on Shane. I think it's just one of those things where Daniel Bryan's going to let his better side take over, and he's going to say, they deserve the victory, and we're not going to screw over, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn just because you have a personal vendetta against them. All right, so that is the predictions for the Clash of Champions event. They're all locked in. I will actually post them up on the Facebook fan page, facebook.com/changing up the game. And you guys, if you have any different ideas and some other things that you think will happen at Clash of Champions, leave them in the comments. Let us know what you think. We'd love to know what you guys' thoughts are. So before we go, just a couple more things that I wanted to discuss. One thing I didn't mention about Monday Night Raw that I really do want to talk about, because this is awesome. The screen feud, and it's not a wrestling feud right now. It's a screen feud between Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy, aka Woken Hardy. Absolutely amazing. 2 weeks of having probably the best segments there, where they're basically just talking back and forth about how they're going to just basically eliminate each other, or, well, eliminate in Bray's case, delete in Matt Hardy's case. And I'm looking forward to seeing where this builds up to. Maybe it'll build up to a matchup at Royal Rumble. Maybe it's going to build up to a match at WrestleMania. Right now, this is just the seeds for what could possibly happen at the future date. And in all honesty, I'm hoping that if they do Matt Hardy versus Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania, please, for the love of God, just let Rebby Sky come in, let her play the piano, and just let that be her entrance. Let it be his entrance. I thought that was one of the greatest things that they could have done at Bound for Glory last year. And I still to this day think that they should just keep it like that. Even if they have to buy the rights to the Matt Hardy, Broken Hardy theme song, do it. I cannot see Woken Hardy coming out with any other theme music than that one. Just keep some of that broken brilliance there. Just please. Let's just see that. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do for Matt and Bray in the upcoming weeks. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to this. It's going to be absolutely amazing. All right. And also to close out the show, obviously, after winning the Elite Ringside Network Championship at Survivor Series from Chris Lockman, the question really is, when am I actually going to be defending that title again? So here's the situation that's going to go down. I am very confident that I'm going to retain my Game Changer title this Sunday against Lola Bean. That what's going to end up happening is that the Game Changer title will only be defended at certain prediction events. So for the Game Changer title, next time I would be planning on defending that title would be in March for the Oscars. So I'll get into a little more details about that in the upcoming future, but that can also change because Lola could have all of his predictions right. You never know. But yeah, as far as the Elite Ringside Network goes, the next time that title will be defended will be for the Royal Rumble next month, in which I will actually make this challenge out right now to anybody who has been an Elite Ringside Network champion. By all means, come and challenge me for this title. I'm looking forward to the challenge. I'm looking forward to the competition, and I'm going to be a fighting champion. I'm going to definitely be the guy who is going to be champion for quite a while. I've been the Game Changer champion ever since No Mercy. I'm planning on holding that at least for a long time, maybe even longer than Finn Balor. We'll see. But I plan on holding the Elite Ringside Network title for as long as I can, because I know that I have a lot of competition when it comes down to it. So, with that being said, thank you so much for joining us here for the Game Changer. This has been the Clash of Champions prediction show. We talked about a lot of things here, guys. Thank you so much for your support. Give me a follow on Twitter at RealEffingGame. Again, you could always give us a like on the Facebook fan page, as I stated before. Trying to think if there's anything else I need to plug. Oh, of course, you can always listen to us live here on Spreaker.com. Give us a follow here, too, because I would love to know what you guys think about the show. Also, you can check us out on iTunes, as well as Podomatic, Podbean.com, and SoundCloud, as well as Mr. NTG1990 on YouTube, which is also going to be the place where this Sunday, myself and Max Speedy, we will actually be doing a live reaction deal for the Clash of Champions show. So by all means, guys, check it out. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be fun. We had a really good night during Survivor Series. Let's just hope that SmackDown Live doesn't bring it down to something lower than a T. So thank you guys so much for joining me here. Tune in tomorrow where I will continue doing the 12 days of booking, which unfortunately I think I'm only going to be reaching number 5 if I'm not mistaken. More than likely, but either way, I'm going to get back right on that, and I'm definitely going to have the 12 days of booking all taken care of before the year is over. I'll even make the final episode, the 12th day of booking, on New Year's Eve. So definitely go check it out, you guys. A lot of the other ones that I've done have been really fun to do. So be sure to check in again tomorrow morning, where I will again be doing the 5th day, I believe it was, for the 12 days of booking. So thank you so much for joining me here. And as always, see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.
There's not a moment to spare. It's quite a drop from the top. So how you feeling?